Hello everybody, Jonathan Rayo here with Simplified Guitar, and in this lesson I want to teach you how to play the song Blackbird by the Beatles. Right now I'm going to play through the song for you first, and then afterwards I'll break it down and explain it to you in more detail, so make sure to stick around for that. For now, let's go ahead and play through the song.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to arrive.
Alright, this is a nice, simple song to learn because technically we're only using 2 fingers for most of the song and 2 strings for most of the song. Okay, so it makes it, even though we're moving all over the fretboard, it really looks fancy, but it's not that fancy. So for instance, I'm going to be starting off with my finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, which is kind of like a G chord, for instance. And this is one of the only times that I'm not going to be playing with my thumb on the A string. I'm going to be on the E string for this note, okay? So I'm going to be there on the E string with my thumb and on the B string with my middle finger, okay? And then from there I'm going to go here with my 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string. And at this point, from this point on, my thumb is going to be on that A string, okay? The whole time. So on the A string with my thumb and on the B string with my middle finger. Okay, and then from here I'm going to use my 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And from this point forward in this progression, my 1st and 3rd finger are going to stay on those 2 strings, okay, which again makes it a little bit easier for transitions because I don't have to move my fingers too much. Even though they have to move along the fretboard, the position of my hand doesn't have to change. So from here, I'm going to go all the way up to fret 10 and 12 on the same 2 strings with the same 2 fingers. And then I just repeat that again. And then the next set for the verse, again, I'm just going to be using my 1st and 3rd finger on the same 2 strings, the A and B string. But I'm going to go to fret 3 and 5, and then 7 and 8, and then 5 and 7, and then 9 and 10, and then 7 and 8, 6 and 8, 5 and 7, 7 and 8, 3 and 5, 3 and 4, 2 and 3, 0 and 2, and even though my finger's not down, my thumb is still hitting that A string, so I'm still playing the A and B string with my thumb and my middle finger. And then here, this is one of the notes where things are going to change. I'm going to use my 2nd finger now on the 1st fret of the B string, okay? And my thumb is going to move down to the D string, so this time I'm going to play the D and B string with my thumb and middle finger. And then from here, I'm going to go back to the 3rd fret of the low E string and play that E string with my thumb and still the B string with my middle finger. So that's the progression for the verse. Then later we get to the, I guess, chorus or pre-chorus or whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be the same idea. We're going to use our 1st and 3rd finger on the same 2 strings, the A string and the B string. But the progression is a little bit different. So we're going to start on 8 and 10 this time, again with our 1st and 3rd finger. So we have 8 and 10. And then we go to 7 and 8. And then 5 and 6. And then 3 and 5. And then 2 and 3. And then back to 3 and 5. Okay, and then we do that same pattern again, coming back up to 8 and 10, 7 and 8, 5 and 6, 3 and 5, 2 and 3, and now instead of coming back up to 3 and 5 again, we're going to go from 2 and 3 to 0 and 2, and then 1 with our 2nd finger. We're switching now to our 2nd finger, and our thumb is going to go down to the D string, so we're playing the D and B string. And then back to that 3rd fret with our 2nd finger on the E string. And there it is. Now for the picking, as I said, we're going to be using our 1st and middle finger pretty much the whole time on the A and B string. Sometimes our thumb is going to move to that low E string and sometimes to the D string, but very, very rarely. But our middle finger is never going to move from that B string. Now another thing that we can do to add a little bit more to this pattern, or this picking pattern, is to use our 1st finger to kind of pluck along with us in between the beats. So our thumb and our middle finger are going to be plucking on every beat, okay? And then in between the beats, we can use our index finger to hit the G string in between the beats, okay? So I'm just going to hold down this, the 3rd fret of the E string to make that G note, and I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. So we have 1 and, just like that. 1 and. So the thumb and middle finger are both hitting at the same time, and then my index finger is going to hit the G string, okay? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now sometimes we're going to have a chord that's going to be held for a long time. So for instance, when we come up to the 10th and 12th fret up here, we're going to be holding this one for longer than all of the other chords. And when we hold a chord for this song, all we want to do is use our thumb the first time we switch chords. So when we switch to that chord, we'll use our thumb. But after that, we're not going to use our thumb, and we're just going to let our middle finger and our 1st finger just walk back and forth between each other. Okay, so we're going to have. Okay, so anytime we're going to be switching chords, or anytime this hand is going to be moving, we want to hit with our thumb as well to create that, so that we can hear clearly the root note, because that's what our thumb is doing. Our thumb is playing the root note. All right, if you enjoyed this lesson, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.